सोच में सकारात्मकता लाएं, जीवन को बेहतर बनाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने 844-844-0632।
Very warm welcome to all our viewers and learners in this very special live interactive phone-in session of CIT and CRT named MANODARPAN Paricharcha. I am Renu Bhatt with you all, and you are watching us live on eVidya channels, channel number 6 and 11. And apart from all those channels, you are with us on our YouTube channel as well, that is ncertofficial. And let me tell you the brief about this particular MANODARPAN Paricharcha initiative. Sahyog and Paricharcha are held under MANODARPAN initiative. It's a brilliant initiative by Ministry of Education as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, so that to provide psychosocial support to all the students, parents and teacher educators across the country. And let me share the title of the session with you all. The title is Critical Issues in the Holistic Development of Children, and we have joined by our esteemed panelists. Let's meet them. You are Dr. PH Brijanti Devi. You are Associate Professor from NEERI, Shillong. Very warm welcome, ma'am. We have joined by our another panelist as well. Let's meet them. You are Dr. Vandika Nikhla. You are Associate Professor from DIET, Nongstown, Meghalaya. Very warm welcome, ma'am.
Hello.
And Dr. KH Bijoy Kumar Singh. You are Assistant Professor from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Very warm welcome, sir. Namaskar. And Ms. Jaya Shrita Majumdar, you are Principal from Delhi World Public School, Agartala. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, ma'am. And we have joined by Miss Monica as well. You are Teacher Counselor from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Mangaldoyi, Assam. Namaskar, ma'am. स्वागत है आपका.
Namaskar, good afternoon to all the viewers.
And before I start this particular Paricharcha, let me share very important information with you all. In case you have any query and questions, or you want to share your experience, you can reach out to us through our various mediums. But if you want to know more about the MANODARPAN Paricharcha, we have a dedicated website for that particular thing. You can explore our website, that is www.manodarpan.education.gov.in. And we have a separate tele-counseling number as well for MANODARPAN. It's 844-844-0632. You can also join in our live streaming through Facebook. You have to go to our Facebook page, that is NCERT. And apart from all those mediums, you can go to the YouTube channel as well, that is NCERT Official. Then you can drop your comment out there. You have to go to the live chat box, and then only you can drop your comment, your queries and any doubt if you have any. And we have our number as well. In that particular number, you can call us with all your query, that is 8800440559. We are eagerly waiting your participation in this particular session, as this Paricharcha is only for you. But before I start this particular session, let me share a very important piece of information with you all regarding India's G20 presidency. We are indeed very proud that India assumed G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, manifest the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that very important piece of information, let's quickly get back to the session in which we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is critical issues in the holistic development of children. So over to you, Brijanti ma'am. Please introduce the topic, ma'am.
Good afternoon to Renu Bhatt and my four panelists and the viewers of the discussions, today's discussion. So today the topic of our today's discussion is the critical issues in the holistic development of children. Uh, so here we'll include four important subtopics like holistic development in preschool, role of teachers related and the related issues, and the socio-cultural aspects and the challenges in implementing the holistic development. So before I invite my panelists, just now Renu has introduced all the panelists. So before inviting the panelists to deliver on their specific topics, I will just like to put few words here. What is holistic development and why it is important, the development of this holistic way, why it is important in the children. When we say about the holistic development, it is the development of children in four different domains, like physical development, like emotional development, linguistic development, and socio emotional development. So why we select this today's topic is very important because the children not only learning the academic subjects, they have to be develop the necessary skills how to live in the society and how to react, how to interact with the people in the society. So this when we say about the physical development, it can be described as the good health of the children and the good health and the development of fine and the gross motor skills. This we call as the physical development, and the cognitive development is the learning of how to development of learning, focusing, and the problem solving and the memory skills is known as the cognitive development. And the linguistic development is mainly we talk on the development or focus on space listening, and the language literacy skills is known as the linguistic development. And the social emotional development is development of understanding and the communication skill with their emotions, communicating their emotions, and develop self-awareness and build empathy and respecting others and how to interact, how to behave with other people is known as social emotional development. Why this holistic development is very important? Because these skills are very crucial because it prepares the children to meet life demands with the necessary knowledge, the communicating skills, emotional intelligence, social awareness, and resilience. All these skills make the foundation for the child to adapt to challenges in the life and understand their emotions and manage social relationships. And the such type of development of such type of skills are affected by many factors like medical condition and the number of siblings in the family and how what role they play in the family. Then family structure. This is whether the different sizes of the parenting style also plays a great role. Events happen in their life. Like moving home from the locality, from the country, and situation for learning new language, sometimes some children faced with the loss of their parents, maybe because of death or maybe separation. In which case they have to be adopted by someone and they have to be fostered by someone, and situation may be different this way. And the diet also plays a great role in the holistic development of children because the income of the parents and income of the family makes a difference in the diet of the child, and because the parents cannot afford a diet, balanced diet because they need money. So I mean, it affects the health and the sleep. Okay, sleep style and the time of sleep. Also, enough sleep is very important for brain development and the intellectual growth. And the experience here, I mean, the of the children themselves also plays a great role in the holistic development. So children may live in some of the very stimulating environment, and while some children do not have this scope at all, and the access to, I mean, the good school and the good well-equipped school and the good society and the outings and the cultural influences like family style, different family on different styles, different types of beliefs. So all these factors play a great role in developing the holistic way the child. So holistic development is the whole development of the child, like mentally, physically, and emotionally. So these factors play a great role in the child's life in the way on the way to develop these emotions and these domains. So, in today's topic, we'll divide this topic into four and the subtopics as I have mentioned. One is holistic development in the preschool years. Second will be the role of teachers in the related issues in holistic development, because we always believe that for the development of holistic development, for any type of development, we place a great vital role to the children, to the teachers, because children spend a lot of time in the schools and apart from the parents also plays a great role at home. But parents, we consider teacher is a really great stakeholders in developing the child in a holistic way. So role of teachers and the related issues, how what are the issues I mean they face in the development of child in a holistic way in the schools, and socio-cultural aspects. So here we'll focus on the critical issues of education and holistic development in the crisis stage. Some examples will be demonstrated here, and the challenges in implementing holistic development in schools. So these are some of the topics and topics to be covered in today's discussion. So now, first of all, I would like to invite the first speaker over today's discussion, that is Wanda Nikla, to speak on the holistic development in preschool years. So, Wanda Nikla, please, you can start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Devi. So, a very good afternoon to all of you here. And I would like to share also my slide side by side. Can you please share my slide from the end? So the topic that I want to discuss here with is about the holistic development of children, but I will also talk about some of the critical issues relating to the holistic development, and more specifically in relation to socio-emotional development. So can my slides be shared, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes.
is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am. But a little bit from my end, I can. I'm sorry, but the color is a little bright, so please bear with it. So when we talk about the holistic development of a child, here I'm focusing in this discussion. I'm focusing specifically for the foundational stage, where I'm relating to the ages of 3 to 8 years. So as we all know, when we talk about holistic development, we talk about the cognitive development in terms of developmental domain, the physical motor development, the language development, the socio-emotional development, and the art aesthetic development. We know that these are the major development, the major domain of development for a child, that is for the foundational stage. So for this discussion, what I really want to stress from the beginning here is that these domains, we know that they are all important domains, but I just want to make one critical issue or an aspect here, which is that
Hello?
yes, which is that the critical aspect here is that, as we know that these are taking place in the life of a child, in the teaching learning, that is when the child comes to the institution, he or she will have undergone a lot of experiences, and in these experiences there will be a lot of cognitive domain, physical, motor, language, social, emotional, art, and aesthetic as the objective or as what is expected in the preschool institution. So the critical point here is that the cognitive issue is supplied or is given or is always there as planned as the aim of a school to provide the cognitive development. We also provide all the other development in terms of domain, the physical, the language, the art, and the aesthetic. But one point I'd like to stress here is that the socio-emotional is one domain which is not yet considered as that very important domain that also is required for a holistic development of a child. And how to, why this is so critical, we will see in the slide that follows next. Can you please go to the next slide, please? Yes, so the child at the ECCE centers will come to the institution or to the ECCE center with a range of social skills and competencies. As we believe that a child is not a blank slate, so you already have the competencies and the social skills. But also on the other hand, we know that a child, no matter what, we all have individual differences. A child will be coming from different cultural background, different regional background, and different socio-economic status. So along with that, when we talk about socialization as an ongoing process of learning, so here we have various agencies in the institution, apart from the family that is at the home. The teachers play a very important role as the socialization agent. Can you move to the next slide, please? So what are these areas that concentrate more or that dwell more into the, or that will enhance the socio-emotional development? These are like personal habits, the social habits, the egocentric of a child, because we know that when a child is very young, he or she will be, the egocentrism will be quite high at a younger age. Then the environment that provides the preschool education or the institution that provides the environment for preschool, then the positive self-concept about oneself. So these we can say that they are the objective of socio-emotional development. Can you move on, please? Can you move to the next slide, please?
I hope, ma'am, it's visible to you.
Yes, it's visible now.
Yeah,
so
please continue.
I'm just trying to bring in these small things like what we understand by socio-emotional development, what are the objectives that involve around socio-emotional development, what exactly is holistic development. So from this holistic development, I've just tried to take out the socio-emotional development and would like to dwell a little aspect on this, about the critical importance, about the critical issues involving socio-emotional development. So I'm not able to see the slide here.
Ma'am, please say something.
Yes. So here I'm bringing about some strategies, like in a preschool culture, in a preschool institution, what activities or what strategies can we bring about to promote the desirable behaviors, like activities relating to fine arts and performing arts, activities such as the play, activities as the form of storytelling, or even as a pedagogy to involve the toy-based pedagogy, the indoor and the outdoor activities, the role play, the drama, the fantasy play. These are just few of the strategies that we can think about Apart from this, there will be many strategies in relation to socio-emotional development. So I'm speaking this in the context of our schools from our region. How can we provide a conducive nature? How can we provide and promote that type of an environment where we can enhance the socio-emotional development of children? As mentioned in the previous slides, it is like as institutions, we have the number of students coming year by year, and in every year, in every class, in every section, we will have a diversity of students. Diversity in the sense that they don't belong to the same region, they are coming from different region, different background, different environmental setting, different the way they were brought up. So a school is one place where the children who have come from these different diversity can get that optimal learning environment where it will enhance their socio-emotional development. So of course, these children, when they come to the institution, as I said, they come with their different background, and also they come with different problem as well. We cannot expect that a child coming to school will only come for learning, and the only problem will be relating to the cognitive aspect. Because as through research, I'm saying this, that there are many issues and problems that children are facing, and these are based primarily due to socio-emotional development. How the child will adjust to the new environment, that is the school, being from the home environment, the connection between the home and the school environment, that is a very big jump for a child to adapt in this new environment, to adapt to the new people, that is the teachers and the peers, to adapt to all the setting. So these are but challenges for a child. And in addition to these, there will also be many other challenges that children are facing. If you can share my screen, please.
Hello.
Yes. So what a teacher needs to do as in continuation, so there should be a proper program planning, as in the case of the ECCE program, we always talk about a proper program planning. Proper program planning means it can be a year plan, a month plan, and also for a daily plan. So most of the time when we go through these program planning, what we normally see is there is the framing of a timetable that is meant for the cognitive aspect, yes, for the outdoor play, let's say the physical motor, for the language, etc., etc. But in most cases, we don't find much of these routine or timetable or a time allotted where we can enhance the socio-emotional development of children. Yes, I do believe that these can be integrated. They can be integrated into other domain as well. But if there can be a time allotted in the timetable or in the program planning for the holistic development of the child, so why not have some time allotted for the socio-emotional development? So another aspect will be the flexibility in the way that we plan the program. And also, for planning the program, if we can have, it is also very important to plan ahead, to make it flexible, to include this important domain as well, to make it as one of the objective, which is also a critical aspect, which if we ignore or if we just take it for granted that things are bound to work out in course of time, because then the small problem that children may have, these small problem may get accumulated and may become bigger and bigger problem, which might lead to unwanted issues and problems. So these are some of the things suggested that from the part of the school, from the part of the teacher, it is also very important to have a time allotted for, as much as we plan for cognitive development, for language, for numeracy, for outdoor, indoor play. So it is also, there should also be a time allotted or a space in the school, physical space and in the program as well, to be allotted for the social emotional development, so that children can get the opportunity, children can get time, and children can get to showcase themselves. And it is there, when we give the opportunity to the students, that the teacher can assess, or the teacher can observe these students and can also find out the rootedness or where lies the problem. For example, if a child has some problem, which maybe that problem has, can you please share the slide? Maybe the problem is already in the child. So through these activities that the school has, that the school provides the children, these activities is where the child can explore. When the child is given these opportunities, then the child will be able to let go of these emotional problem, emotional disturbances, or any social problem. Maybe through these activities, that these problems will get reduced, will get minimized. And also from the part of the teacher will be able to observe, will be able to assess the problem that the students are facing. And if these are minor problems, then the teacher can very well work on it, can improve the socio-emotional development of the children at the individual level. Or if at times when these problems are too big enough to be taken care of by the teacher, then the teacher at the most can, if not for a remedial solution, then the teacher can talk to the authority. And these kind of cases, as we can say, that it may be also, what I mean to say is that it could be also that it is only a preschool period, but whatever problem that we are facing right now in the current situation, in the school section, in the higher section, in the higher school, what we can see is, I think and I feel that most of these cases, most of these problems would have been the problem that we have not been very good at observation, where we have ignored when these students were at a very young age. So these problems where children have from the home or from themselves, or must have picked up from here and there, from the environment, these are the small problems with children. If we ignore these kind and we are not providing the opportunity for them to bring these things out, or if we are not careful in observation, then these could lead to bigger socio-emotional problem in their later life, right? So I would just like to share a few more things with you.
And ma'am, here I would request you to sum up, please.
Yes. So here are some of the activities that, so to say, that from my diet, just recently we conducted a program and we tried to bring out some of the low-cost materials, so-called the best out-of-waste materials in some of the program. And according to me, these are kind of the teaching learning materials. These are like play learning materials that can be provided to children, where children can play. There are different types of play materials that children can develop the relationship with their peers. These are some of the outdoor play materials that we have developed, or we have arranged in the diet with the help of our student teachers, and we have just displayed them on the outside vicinity of the institute. These are the low-cost play outdoor materials, and I hope that these are just a very at a very starting point. These are some of the strategy. These are some of the things that we have prepared in the recent concluding program that we've had. I feel these are the opportunities where if we can provide the children at the school to play with, because most of the time,
Ma'am, please sum up.
yes, most of the time we always keep our children inside. So where we don't give them opportunity to speak up, we don't give them opportunity to be themselves, to let go of what they are feeling outside, their emotional disturbance, the emotional problem. So these things which I'm just bringing here is just a small example, like whether we can keep these things in the school, because these are the low cost. We don't have to buy them. Also, we can just prepare and do the setup. And maybe these are some of this is one solution where we can solve some of the major problem in relation to socio-emotional development. So thank you for listening, and that's all I have from my end. So what, in conclusion, I would say that socio-emotional aspect is one such area where we really have to take into concern, as much as we value the cognitive, the language, the numeracy domain. So this is also one concern where teachers and practitioners really have to take care upon, and we can start with a very good program planning, as I said, where all things are balanced, and these can be seen in the setting up of the program planning, and also
Sure,
in
ma'am.
the outside outdoor setting, where children can have all the opportunity to learn, to play, and to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. You have covered in your session that socio-emotional development is the area lacking in the preschool stage, and you also have suggested the some agency, main agency, parents and teachers, and you also suggested and you express your opinion to put one time in the time frame, one slot for the activities which should be activities like maybe play and maybe storytelling and some other activities which will lead in the social emotional development of the child, which can help in developing the social emotional aspects of the children in the schools. And you said that you have to some particular specific strategies for that, and you have said that this you are talking, you are expressing these things by in the context of your area, schools of your area, and but if we ignore the problems faced by the children, and if we do not attend to them, so it may later on accumulate, and it may be. It may sound as it may come up, or it may pose a big problem in future, for which we will not have any solution. So your appeal is towards the preschool teachers, so that they should make some strategy. They should give importance for this social emotional aspect, which is, I mean, at the moment is not giving so much importance. Thank you so much. And now, before inviting the second speaker, I have an appeal to all of you, because Renu already said that it is 16 minutes and 18 minutes time. So I think when you keep on talking, then you are snatching away the time for your, the peer panelist. So I think please try to stick to the time, and even if you have made your presentation more, also you try to wind it up by seeing the time. So it is my appeal. So second speaker is Miss Monica. Teacher counselor. So, Monica, please, your topic is role of teachers and the related issues in holistic development in children. So, Monica, please.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to speak upon the role of a teacher in holistic development of the student. So, first of all, I would like to mention here that the role of a teacher is not merely going to the classroom, following a particular syllabus, and using some traditional chalk and duster method and just coming out of the classroom. If we talk about NEP, NEP also focuses on the holistic development of the student. It talks about a holistic approach, the overall development of the student. The teacher is now being looked up with multiple roles. It's not just one word, a teacher. It also includes a facilitator who facilitates the student, acts between the knowledge and the student as a bridge. Next, he also acts as a information provider. As we already know that for the students, teacher act as the primary source of information. So this information which the teacher has need to be quite filtered. They need to be quite accurate what they are delivering during the class. So they are also looked up as an information provider. Next, we have the role model. So role model here comes because the students also look up the teachers as their role model. They want to be the one of them. They want to follow what they are doing, how they are doing, their passions. They also want to follow the passion that the teacher has. So a role model is also being looked up for. The teacher is also an assessor because when they are teaching, they are not merely giving the lecture. They are also assessing what the student has learned. So that is also an important role that the teacher plays. Again, a planner. A planner. The teacher is a planner. He or she needs to sit down and identify the multiple students, the multiple students available in the classroom and design the plan accordingly. If they want to deliver the lecture, they need to plan according to the classroom. And also a resource developer. Since they want to deliver something, they need to develop a resource according to the audience that they have. So this is all about the role of a teacher. Now we know that in this new education policy, the students will be selecting different streams and subjects randomly. They can pick English, they can pick physics, they can pick geography, so they can pick anything. So in this holistic development, this is one of the issues that the teacher must be aware of the different fields that the student can opt for. So, my kind attention is to make this point valid is that the teacher must be made aware of, the teacher should be responsible enough to bring out this new change. As man has already spoken about the holistic development, that it holistic approach includes this physical, social, emotional, moral, and intellectual development. So the school environment needs to provide all these things all together to the student. We have many ongoing teacher training programs that Nishtha on Diksha portal is one of them. So there is a chance that the teacher is made aware of the holistic approach. The teacher needs to be quite responsible and acceptable to follow this holistic approach. Then I would like to suggest one more thing that the teacher should also provide a versatile environment for the students. Say suppose if the student is studying physics, they need to understand the concept, they need to realize what they are studying, not merely learning the formula, cramming the procedures. It will not help them at all. It might help them with intellectual ability, but what about the social thing? Right? If they are learning about, say, suppose photosynthesis, so they need to go out. They need to go out of the classroom. They need to learn those new things. They need to understand, okay, the sunlight is coming to the leaf. Now it will help in the process of photosynthesis to the leaves. So this is how a holistic development can be expected from this teaching learning process that the teacher should adopt. Then the teacher also need to know how the student wants to learn. Every student is different and every student requires a different kind of learn. The teacher should know how each and every student wants to learn and then to compile it all and then plan accordingly. Also, they need to have this observation, documentation, and evaluation of the activity. Suppose this photosynthesis activity is done, they need to have a pre and post test that whether it is working for them or not. The information, whatever the concept clarity of the student can be assessed through it. So this is all about the intellectual ability that can be enhanced by including activities and all. There is one more critical issue in the holistic development if I talk about the role of the teachers. That is the vast scope of subject and the limited number of periods and classes. Usually what happens if a teacher wants to include some multidisciplinary project, they need to group up the students and take them out and do some activity or exercise with them to make them understand some topic. What happens, this lack of time also hampers their holistic approach towards the teaching learning processes. So, say for example, simply just I want in a class of 40 students, I want to make 5 groups and I want to take them out, explain them what the process is, what are the rules of the game, and then they want to play, and they also want to return. They have to return back within that stipulated time. So that becomes one of the most critical issues, that the time period and the vast syllabus that we have to cover. Also, due to that, the learnings are shifted towards theory-based learning. Theory-based learning. So this also hampers the holistic development of the child. One more thing is that the teacher need to be up to date with the technology. Usually what happens, because in this day, during these days, we have ICT included in each and every subject. ICT helps the students to be quite interactive with this subject that they are learning. They are very confident. They have a different perspective. Suppose I'm teaching them parallel lines. So parallel lines, I can use a chalk, I can use I can just use a blackboard, I can draw it and make them understand that this is a concept, yeah, this is a parallel line. But if I include activities, then what happens? It also helps in building their social, emotional um, area also. How? So if I group them, I make some of them leaders, then I'm also building up leadership qualities in some of the students. Also, the team uh, team spirit is also being boosted up by that. And also, one more critical issue that I would like to talk about here is dealing with the parents. The teacher need to be very much aware that they need to understand the student and they need to deal with the parents accordingly. If they want, talking about all the aspects, the intellectual aspects, talking about the social emotional aspects, usually what happens when the parent pays a visit, they want to know about the overall improvement, overall progress of their ward. So the teacher, as a class teacher, especially as a class teacher, they must be aware about each and every development that each and every student is having. They should know how they are performing in academics. They should also know how they are performing with the other classmates. What kind of relation that they have. They should also know whether they are uh, taking up some new actions or not, like participating in co-curricular activities, sports activities or not. So the teacher must have this data with them, that how each and every child is progressing, so that they can deal with the parents according. One more critical issue, that is the cordial relationship with the colleagues. The teacher should have a cordial relationship with the colleagues. Now, why I'm mentioning that? Because in holistic development, we need to talk about the overall development of the students. And if we have a cordial relationship with the colleagues, we get to know all the subjects that are being studied by the students. Since we also have a multidisciplinary approach, we can have a good project, we can have a good activity with the students, so that all the subjects all together are having one single project and the students are working all together. And this is also building up their social emotional area. It is also developing their morals, right? So this is one of the critical issues. And one more critical issue is that the time limit. The time limit I have already mentioned. And what happens in the vast syllabus? What happens when because it's not only the subjective knowledge that we are sharing with the students. sometimes the students are so much interactive with the teachers that they get diverted, and sometimes moral talks are also going on. So what happens because of the this lack of time and the vast syllabus that the teacher has, they try to sum it up very shortly. Like, okay, we'll have only 5 minutes of talk, then we'll come back to the topic. So what happens? This good discussion between the student and the teacher gets hampered due to this lack of time. Now, what one more thing is that we as a teacher are playing a very important role in this teaching learning process. So we need to keep a check upon how the colleges are working, who are building up the teachers, and how the recruitment processes are there, because it impacts a lot. And I would like to conclude by saying that we need to create institutions which are creating individuals who are highly confident and developed holistically. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am.
So, thank you, Monica. I think in your presentation you include the role played by research.
Bijoy sir, I would request you to unmute yourself. Mute yourself, sir.
Role, main roles, important role played by the teachers, like facilitator, information provider, assessor, then planner, and the resource developer. Okay, these are the roles, and here you have also highlighted that and the teacher should know and they should be aware about the overall performance of the child in terms of this all-round development or holistic development. For this, you said that there should be in pedagogy also there should be multidisciplinary projects, and then you should have proper coordination and the collaboration with the school teachers. So that you can understand about the child in different subjects taught by different people. And this is about the subject-wise performance. And you also suggest that we should try to give some of the, sometimes the multidisciplinary projects so that they can do together. They should know how to coordinate each other, and how to develop the spirit. And all these are important, the qualities of children which will lead to the holistic development. And you also said that when understanding and the knowledge and information about all the performance of the children in each and every subject and as a whole also will help the teachers when they deal with the parents. Some of the parents wants to know what's the overall performance of the child in the school. So there should be, on the whole, you want to say that teachers have a different role in different aspects, like as you have mentioned, facilitator, information. This is okay in your part, but you also mentioned that teachers should know the learning style of the child, because different children learn in different way. So, in a nutshell, you want to say that you have said that the school and the teachers should have collaborate each other, and they should have, the coordination, and they should share the information about each and every students in all the subjects, so that if the student is lacking in somewhere, then it can be improved, and with the help of the the other teachers, maybe in the lacking, maybe in the subject scholastic area, lacking maybe in the moral, lacking maybe in the social emotional aspects. So all these things, and you also said the time factor is very important in the in making the holistic development, because most the teachers are dedicated to complete the syllabus of the day. Because of lack of time, they do only the theoretical concepts they taught, and there is hardly time for connecting those knowledges in the classroom and the theoretical concepts into the daily life or the outside school. So time factor is one thing. So this is one of the critical issues in developing holistic development in the schools. So I think you could highlight this is, according to you, these are some of the critical issues in implementing the holistic development in the schools.
Right.
And Now, now I'd like to invite Dr. Vijay Kumar, the third speaker, to present your and, to give your presentation on the critical issues of education.
Please put your mic. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And I thank all the staff and faculty of TCIT and CRT for giving me the opportunity to be in this program. So now we have heard, ma'am, please minimize the
Ma'am,
volume.
I would request you to mute yourself, ma'am.
Yes. Minimize the volume, ma'am.
Brajanti, ma'am.
So, because the sound comes to me.
Dear learners and viewers, you are watching us live on eVidya channel from channel number 6 and 11. And we would be more than happy if you share questions and queries as well. We are receiving a lot of messages and comments from your side. We appreciate your efforts. And if you have any experience to share with us or any query and questions, please feel free to reach out to us through our various medium. You can call us on our telephone number, that is 8800440559. Either you can drop a comment in our YouTube channel as well, that is NCERT official. You have to go to the live chat box and then only you can drop your comment out there. Bijoy sir.
Yes.
Please
now we have had two important aspects of critical issues and a concern about holistic development of science from previous two speakers. One is the role of the teacher in the holistic development. Another is this thing socio, this psychological emotional development. So let me just talk some one of the very important critical issue which is happening in Northeast, but which is not common to India as a whole. And for that, I would like to bring the issue of crisis. When I say crisis, there are different kind of crises in Northeast India. But for just discussion, I would like to classify the whole crisis and the problem into three important domains. First, I will bring the issue of ethnic conflict, which is, a witness in Manipur till now started from 3rd May 2023. Then second one, let me talk about the armed conflict that had been continuing for the last 4 or 5 decades in Northeast India. Then last conflict, I will talk about the ban, strike, curfew, suspension of internet and the other facility in the state. These three factors, these three problems, which I generally call crisis and crisis state. It directly affects thousands of families, thousands of children, thousands of women, and many much more also had been indirectly affected by this thing. So, especially children and the women are the victim of this kind of crisis. When I say about the children, so it largely affects their teaching learning opportunity, their holistic development because of this long, prolonged, inherent crisis which characterize most states of the Northeast India. And when we say about women as a victim, women could be considered one of the important pillars for shaping this kind of the holistic development. But women are also victims of this last number of crises in Northeast India. And prior to this, the nation also faced nearly 2-year lockdown due to COVID pandemics. And immediately after re-enrollment and the re-establishment of educational institute, this state, so-called Northeast, in the far eastern corner of India, is affected by another ethnic conflict and militarization, which we commonly call it Kuki-Meitei conflict in Manipur. The recent data also show that more than 50,000 families had been directly displaced from their village and the locality. They have been taking shelter in the refugee or the rehabilitation center, which is run by the state or NGO in the state of Manipur, and many of them have run away from the state and taken shelter in the state of Mizoram and other northeastern states. So if the situation is like this, we can imagine the scenario of education and the development of the science in the state. So one important thing and one critical issue of this type of conflict is that since most of these conflicts are happening between two or more ethnic communities in the regions, so this is never defined as a conventional war. It is considered as internal law and order problems, instead of treating and terming it as a war. But the intensity which I will show in the slide, we certainly said that the intensity and the harm, danger, impact, and the loss, including the life and the property, is much more than any conventional war that is happening in the country. So, because of this thing, because of treating it as an internal law and the problem, we did not get, or state did not get much from international agency for helping children of their education, for just giving other essential health and the medical facilities. So the impact is much more on the part of science development. So now, show me the slide number, previous slide, table number 1. So let me talk about ethnic conflicts. Ethnic conflict that had been going on since the year 1992. The first ethnic conflict that the state of Manipur witnessed is Kuki-Naga ethnic conflict. It goes on decades, more than 10 decades. So nearly 11,000 population had been displaced directly from their village and taking shelter in many relief camp and the relatives' place. So altogether, we have several number of the serious ethnic conflict, that is Kuki-Zomi conflict happening in 93 and 97. That's in the same period, we also witnessed Thadu-Paite conflict, and another conflict is Meitei-Pangan, that is Manipuri Muslim, and the Meitei conflict that also displaced lots of people. And the 2001 also Naga ceasefire extension, which continued for 6 months, also affect lots of people. Finally, altogether, including the recent conflict of Meitei and Kuki, we have the record of 91,500 displaced people in the state, where there is only 28.5 lakh population in the latest census. So if the scenario is like this, we can certainly imagine the scenario and the situation of education system in the state. So second, next slide, please. So now this is another second kind of the conflict that the state witnessed. We have heard about the armed conflict, which is more than 5-6 decades in the entire region. It affects almost all the states in Northeast India. So Manipur is one of the most affected states by this armed conflict between the insurgent group and the paramilitary groups in the regions. So one serious concern about this issue is that it may affect all the system, political and economic system in the region, but it also directly affects the educational system in the state. Started from 2000, year of 2000, we have certain record for nearly 10 years. So during this period of conflict, so many armies and the paramilitary force, as Army Fund and the CRPF had been deployed in the entire state to subside the armed militants. Many lives had been lost. Many property had been damaged. Many, children become the orphans, taking shelter in the orphanage center run by the NGOs. These are some of the data that I have collected from different sources that presented by the armed militants and the armed conflict in the regions. So now, next slide, please. Yeah. Over and above this very high intensity conflict in the region, that is ethnic conflict, ethnic cleansing. The second one is armed conflict between the armed militant and the paramilitary force. We have witnessed several days of lockdown, several days of curfew, several days of ban, several days of the highway blockades, interstate blockade, which certainly restrict the movement of people, movement of the goods, movement of the service in the state. These are the sort of data which I collected from the year 2004 to 2011. So many days had been affected by these things. So then we can imagine certainly that what may happen in the education system during these days. This issue has been highly discussed in the holistic development because this is a very, very, very unique and specific but pertinent to note is only highly the mainland people or the states witness or experience this kind of the conflict. So these are the sort of the crisis that I bring for the discussion. Then we can certainly imagine what could be the possible impact of this kind of the conflict and the crisis in the Northeast. So let's look at the next slide, that how it could affect the education system as a whole and the holistic development of different domains, what previous resource persons, the panelists talk about. First thing we could think about, if the situation is like that now at present also more than now it's nearly 3 months and 1 day if we count from the 3rd May. So still internet service is banned completely in the states, and there is no facility for communication, there is no facility for online interaction, online debate, or online class or interaction with student and stakeholder. So that was the scenario. That is the scenario at present. Now there are some possible impact of all these crises which is inherent in nature. So one of the most important pertinent issue related to this crisis and the educational achievement is that the displacement of large number, nearly 90,000 population had been displaced since 1992. In this figure, I have not included other displaced directly and indirectly displaced by so many development projects, made in Northeast. For example, dam displaced thousands of people also. This also certainly affect the holistic and educational development of all those children belonging to this displaced person. So displacement is one of the important issue that we have to focus. If the problem and of this displacement is not solved with amicable facilities, I think whatever we discuss about the domain that we have to develop in the education will be useless. So first, what about the health and the nutrition problem? One of the important domain for physical and the motor development of the child. This is not possible, and this is not successful for the entire children affected directly, indirectly by this kind of displacement and conflicts. In the little camp, you will see that they are getting minimum facility of 2 meals a day, with or without proper breakfast, no proper drinking water, no proper place for taking rest and sleep. Then what about the learning space and the teaching space? Those things were not able to provide immediately. So certainly their health, nutrition, and education is directly affected. Second thing that we can discuss here is lack of family attention. At present, women are, busy. They are strictly engaging in patrolling their locality to prevent from any unwanted disturb and attack from outsiders, so-called enemy. You will see women, there are three, shifts and in rotations, 8 hour rotation. Every family need to send one woman in their locality
Bijoy
as
sir,
a
I would
village
request you to
protective.
sum up, please.
Yeah. So these are certain things. Certainly, there is a restriction of free movement also, and complete segregation of different ethnic communities are also seen. So over and above, fear of being killed and being harmed by enemy is one of the things which restrict the education and activity in the thing. As a part of the conclusion, I would like to bring some of the tips or way forward that we can think about. Is there any way out of these conflicts to, at least, provide the, fundamental right of the child in the development of all the domain that some of the resource person make. So first thing, what I would like to suggest is make education free zone. It is not easy to make education free zone when the conflict is undergoing. But one unique characteristic of the region is that conflict is going on for many decades. But we have certain, civil society organization who understand many things about these things. Certain informal agreement are also made between many NGOs and the organization that we should not touch this person, we should not touch this job, we should not touch women, we should not do harm to the children. Such kind of the agreement and such kind of the understanding should be developed among different, apex body of the concerned community in order to bring education free zone. And the certain remedial,
Sir, in a brief,
teaching,
sir.
the certain remedial teaching also may be met in the form of healing. Thus, this is also one of the important things to be concerned. Second, teacher training should also encompass the dimension of handling the education for the crisis state. So we need to expand the curriculum as a part of the inclusive education in order to facilitate and provide the holistic development for affected children in the crisis state of notice. This is the one I would like to bring for your discussion. Thank you.
Please mute yourself.
Thank you, Vijay. I think your topic was very interesting, and it is the current issue also in some part of our states in the Northeast region. And you have, mentioned about different type of crisis, because you have said this because we are having talking about the holistic development. Holistic development consists of physical development, mental development, and the social emotional development. But all these three domains, all these three types of development is totally blocked and totally absent during the crisis. And you have set an example from the Manipur, which is going on now, and you also have given some type of conflicts which have been prevailing in our region, like in terms of ethnic conflict, armed conflict, and the types of bands, strikes, all of which directly affect the children student education. And apart from the facts and the figures you have provided, you have also put some questions at the end, because to solve these problems and so that we can approach towards the holistic development of children, irrespective of the place and the time. So you have asked that, can you make education free zone despite the crisis? And the civil society organization, because you have said about when you talk about the ethnic country, you have cited 4 ethnic countries like Naga, Kuki, Meitei, Bangal, Meitei, Yaga, Meitei, Kuki. We said in the last few years. So a civil society organization among these communities, can they make some informal agreements so they do not touch the students' education? And certain teaching, certain types of teaching to heal the mental injuries of the children, because we have said the social emotional context. So we have to have the in social emotional, how to deal with the different people, how to interact with them. But when this crisis happened, and when I think that my community has been targeted by some other community, and the other community also might be thinking that our community has been. So this is very difficult situation we're in. the children can develop the social emotional aspect development. So I think these are a few questions you asked. So if we can do these things, so the today's topic, the holistic development. So this is one of the critical issues in the obstructing on the way of holistic development of the children. So I think thank you and for highlighting the bring up this issue, because this is it is not known by many of the people, and it is very important because now if we see that the last 3 months our students from Manipur, maybe in maybe community are suffering, they are totally lacking in education. So there is no question for holistic development. So thank you, and I think the speakers and the listeners and the viewers may sometimes like to suggest and may give some idea. So I have shown. So now the last speaker, I like to invite the last speaker, Miss Daya Srita, Principal DWPS Agartala, to talk on the challenges in implementing holistic approaches in schools.
Namaskar, and thank you for making me part of this esteemed panel. Yes, I know we're running short of time, so I'll keep it very minimum. Being the last speaker, there's always a crunch of time. So anyway, by now we have known that holistic education is not just to focus on the cognitive development or on just appearing in tests and getting marks. It is about a child's well-rounded development, being into a happy and constructive member of the society. While implementing holistic education in school, there are a lot of challenges, and I would like to bring upon these challenges. Holistic approach to education is beautifully implemented in the first 5 years of the foundational stage, that is from nursery to class 2, with the help of play-based learning approach. But as we move ahead to the next stages, that is the classes 3, 4, 5, and further ahead to 6, 7, 8, the willingness to use holistic approach decreases. It has been observed that there's a tendency that holistic education comprises academic learning. There is a belief that holistic approach may limit children's time on academic aspects of learning, as there is an increasing pressure into focusing more and more on math, science, literacy. A child may be very good in sports or arts, but is still not encouraged as career opportunities, but rather considered as expensive hobbies open only to wealthy. Till today, being doctors and engineers are largely considered to be good careers and professions. Still today, parents disapprove of this holistic approach, with showing less confidence in having career opportunities for the children in arts, sports, music, humanities. They tend to give the pressure of maths and science, with added extra coaching of engineering and medical entrance examinations way back from class 8 onwards. Now, another instance which I would like to bring is doing various school projects related to subjects such as journal writing or creating subject resource material seems like a waste of time to parents, and they want children to focus only on academics. The second challenge is many holistic learning opportunities are time consuming and some are expensive, like when children participating in outdoor educations, excursions, field trips, summer camps, community engagement, and other outreach programs. These cost extra expense, and we're not willing to spend extra expenses on this. Thirdly, The comparisons. The third challenge is the comparisons made amongst the children in the academic education discourages the holistic education approach. For instance, here I would again like to give an example. Maybe a child is very good in sports or performing arts, but still his academic grades would be compared amongst the children, which is a discouragement to him or her. So I would like to conclude by saying that there's always a tug of war between implementing holistic approach and academic approach in the school curriculum. Thank you. With this, I would like to conclude my.
Ma'am, but we still have time. You can continue.
I had to cut down on time on some of my points because seeing the clock,
Ma'am,
I
you can
just
continue. You
reduced
can
it.
take 7 minutes more, ma'am.
Yes. Now, what happens is when we plan certain activities in the school, or maybe plan a series of activities which are integrated into the curriculum, there's always a feedback. क्या पीछे से क्या स्कूल में पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही है क्या बच्चे पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं क्या? You know, say for example, organizing activities related to public speaking, show and tell. So the concept that these activities is also learning, speaking skills is also learning, is difficult to explain to the parents. It is not only academic learning which should be counted, but these other holistic learnings, developing their learning skills, listening skills, developing their speaking skills, building confidence. These are also learning. Learning is not always by the book. So that's always a conflict. When we do implementation, when we make curriculum, the curriculum gets so much overloaded with academics, math, science, literacy, that there's a little scope left for these. So a lot of planning is required by implementing. And these are the challenges day-to-day life we keep facing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam. Madam Jayshrita. You have, conclude your session. Little ahead anyway. So you have mentioned a very critical issue, which is in the school for holistic development, because many people thought that holistic development is only for the lower classes. As you said, after the 5 years, completion of 5 years, till 5 years, it was very successful. You can go on with the holistic development. But after the 5 years of schooling, people think that it is not, they're not willing. You said that they are not willing to use holistic approach. I don't know, not willing by the teachers or not willing by the students. So whatever maybe said that it is not willing to use holistic approach in the class is becoming less. It is becoming lesser in the academic. The achievement get the larger attention after 5 years, because the people give more attention to the academic achievement. And you also said that doctors and engineers are only considered as a good career. Because of that, people do not pay much attention towards the holistic development. And holistic development approach is also time consuming, you said, because some of the qualities like socio-emotional, some of the other areas, cognitive, you mentioned cognitive skill and the communication skill. Because when you do the other activities apart from the teaching in the classroom, people think that it is a segregation from the education, because activities are not considered to be a part of education. And when you conduct activities, people say that although teaching is not taking place and the teaching learning is not taking place, they're doing activity. This is the mindset of the people. So they think that way. That's why it is a hurdle in implementing the holistic approach as per your presentation. And one is, you said the comparison. Okay, because comparison means the student themselves, they try to compare their academic achievement and as well as the activities for the holistic development, because the bright students who get good marks in the scholastic areas and the who are having aim for the higher study, so they for them they think that the holistic development is not doesn't matter in, they have to focus on the scholastic area only. And okay, you said that when we try to integrate the curriculum with the other activities which can lead to the holistic development of the children. So, I mean, maybe it is not, you have not clearly mentioned, it is not from the from whose side it is thinking that it is not a part of education. And here actually, maybe because you are talking from your context, maybe in the it may not be the general phenomena for everyone, but as you are presenting from the, I think you're from Tripura, so I think you might be having this experience, that you might import this feedback because of that you are telling that in your area or maybe KB, your KB or the KB. So these are some of the critical issues facing by the teachers in implementing the holistic development of development in children. So thank you all the panelists, because you all would have present your topics in such a manner that it includes many important points, and also it is the reality in the ground reality, I think, because you are teaching even the Thai people, also dealing with the people directly, and that you are from KB, and some people, he is a sociologist, so they are dealing with the, I mean, the events. And as we said earlier in the beginning, also I said some of the factors affecting the holistic development in children. So I also mentioned these, I mean, some of the, I mean, the issues like when they lost the parents, and then when they shift the home, and when they change the area of area of habitation, then they also have a problem in adjusting the new situation. As Vijay has mentioned, in the children, the affected children of the displaced people, and that he mentioned that more than 50,000 people have been displaced. So the children now are have to, I mean, try to adjust with the situation. So there is no space, no room for learning, and then there is no room for, I mean, the holistic parents cannot give any, I mean, the attention towards the science, even food, and even sleep, and that they are all the parents are going patrolling and patrolling to their area. So he said like that, and also you and other speakers like Wanda also mentioned that in the preschool stage, what was the problem facing by the preschool children, because they hardly give importance to other socio-emotional. This is a very important aspect of the holistic development. And even the Monica also said about the issues facing in the school. Teacher play a great role in imparting the knowledge, skill of the, I mean, the academic areas as well as the holistic development. Like when we say about holistic development, we talk about the values, we talk about the attitude, these things. But she also highlighted some important, I mean, the issues facing by the teachers because of lack of time. Because inculcating these aspects, inculcating the necessity, I mean, the spirits for this development needs time. So she also highlighted some time factors because of which some hurdles and some restriction came in the on the way of implementing holistic development. So all this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Seema. Thank you so very much. Indeed, there are so many critical issues accompanied by solutions as well, and we need to focus on them only. Thank you so very much to all the panelists for being with us. Thank you. Thank you for your informative program.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the viewers who are with us throughout this session, and for all your comments and for all your valuable comments and messages. And before I wrap up this particular Paricharcha, let me share a very important piece of information with you all regarding NCERT textbooks. NCERT textbooks for the year 2023-24 are available throughout the country, and you can directly purchase them from NCERT sales counters located at New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Kolkata and Guwahati. These sales counters will be functional on all the weekdays, including all the gazetted holidays, Saturdays and Sundays as well, from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. You may also place order for those books through online from our website, that is ncertbooks.ncert.gov.in, and these books will be delivered at your doorsteps with no delivery fees. If you want to download the soft copy of all those books in PDF version, it can also be downloaded online for free from NCERT, Diksha, ePathshala website and from our mobile app as well. We would request you to go to the website of ours, that is ncert.nic.in, to know more about the authorized vendors. With that note, me Renu Bhatt is taking your leave, but you stay tuned to eVidya channels and NCERT official YouTube channel for more informative program. Namaskar and take care.
सोच में सकारात्मकता लाएं, जीवन को बेहतर बनाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने, 844-844-0632।